Okay, I hope you found that exercise really worthwhile and that you were able to come up with some points that resonated with you, whether it was things that you wanted to learn, take note of, or identify for yourself, or maybe some personal commitments of things you want to start doing more of and how you might do them. This is really like an ongoing diary, but it's a self-teaching exercise to help you start to be more for yourself. It's kind of like planning a big project. And you're going to hear me say in the coming modules about putting smart targets onto your own life. This is the start of that. And I value your time and your energy that you're putting into this so much. And as it says right here on this slide, you are practicing self-persistence. You are determined to do this. You're happy to go on this journey with me, even if it's tough. And that takes persistence or grit. And I tell you that one of my biggest superpowers that I gained through changing my existence and changing my reality and becoming something different is grit. And sometimes it's to my detriment, but mostly it's one of the most powerful things that we can have within us, because nothing is going to be easy. None of this journey is going to be easy. And the changes you want to see for yourself are going to take time. And it takes persistence of getting up every day and taking the next step, putting the next foot in front of the other one. But as I hope you'll see in the pictures I've chosen here, if you just keep doing it and you just keep going, you'll start to make that groove and you'll start to see that change that you're hoping for. And then it becomes easy. And then it's not hard anymore. And I'm going to make a commitment to you now. It's been about 1.5 years since I've done any exercise. And that's because I've been too busy being the employee of my business and focusing too much on trying to get my business off the ground. And I let go of taking care of myself, which is probably one of the reasons I've swung into doing this course with you, because I had to have some serious conversations with myself in the mirror saying, come on, Tirza, get back into self-love, because exercise and movement, especially as we get older, but all through life, is self-love. So this is where I fell down. So now I need to have some self-persistence to get myself back fit again and back into the habit of exercise. So whatever you've committed to do with self-persistence through this course, I'm going to be doing the same with my exercise journey. Okay? So we're in this together. What happens when we feel stuck and not moving forward? It's resistance. It's resistance because human nature is a bit lazy and we kind of want to slump back into the comfort zone or slump back into what is easy. But persistence beats resistance anytime. Why? Because when we persist and persist and persist, and then it starts to make that path, it flows. When we persist and persist and persist, and then we're strong, it's easier. Okay? So it beats it, because actually resistance against something that you know you should have, but you don't do it for whatever reason, just keeps us in a sad place. And it's harder actually in the end, because we're frustrated with ourselves. And persistence is also remembering that we can fail 19 times and then we succeed on the 20th, for example. Maybe it's we fail 100 times and we succeed on the 101st try. Whatever it is, don't give up, because it's just around the corner for you. And here's the last two that were highlighted on that list: self-responsibility and self-restraint. And I think they kind of go hand in hand, albeit independent on their own. But self-responsibility is really personal at this point in this journey that you're on. It's taking responsibility for your own life. And remember, until you do that, someone else is running it. That's quite a big statement right there, but for me, that really impressed upon me what I'm trying to say here. You are the only one that can change your reality, because it's your brain, it's your value set, it's your beliefs, it's your hardwiring, and it's your vision. It's your life, what you want to create. So don't let somebody else control that, whether it's that toxic partner, that boss or work life that's holding you back. Maybe it's just a new vision that you want for yourself. Maybe you don't actually have anything overly toxic in your life or negative or bad, but it's just not good enough. Then still all those things that aren't quite good enough are holding you back, and they're running your life. So we need to take self-restraint at this point. We need to restrain ourselves from continuing on the journey of unhappiness. Restrain that. Focus on something new. Find where the lock is. Create the key and go forward to success. It takes a step-by-step process, but if we do it, we're going to be so much happier. I'm just going to go back to the bit at the beginning that we talked about in the previous video about self-love and being selfish. Is selfish wrong? No, it's not. It's actually a direct connection to success. Because when you're well and you're full in yourself, then you're able to overflow. It's called being self-full. Because selfishness, going back to my beautiful grandchild, he is the most selfish creature in my family right now because he's never been taught to give of himself to others. So what does he do when he needs something? He screams, he kicks, he does anything in his power to get the attention he needs to get his needs met. But then as soon as his needs are met, what does he do? He overflows onto others to bring them closer to him by oohing and gooing and cooing and awing and touching and smiling and being close. That's nature's way of creating a super healthy space for us to thrive. And that's what we need to do all through our lives when we want to think about self-care. We're each a cup or a well, like you can see here in my picture. And by pouring into ourselves, we're filling up that cup. So then later, when you get something out of me, the cooing, the oohing, the awing, the smiles, the talk, the learning, that's because I now have enough to overflow and give to you. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So our signs of self-love, and here we are again. This is a list of things that we need to have or be aware of in order to have true self-love. And they're going to be on a little action sheet for you below as well, for you to do the same exercise. So setting and upholding personal boundaries. When do we say no, and what do we want to say no to more of? Using positive self-talk and not harsh criticism. How often do you do it, and when are you going to stop? Be kind and forgiving to yourself. If you make a mistake or you feel inadequate, guess what? You're human. It's okay. If you don't know something, good. That's why we have brains, to learn. It's okay. Be kind. Treat yourself with empathy, just as you would with a friend who's experiencing a challenge. If you had a friend going through the journey you're on right now, would you be saying to them, oh, come on, do it faster. Get there. What are you still doing waiting around? Treat yourself the same. Empathy. Here's the few last four. Participating in activities that promote your own mental health and physical well-being. Visit somewhere beautiful. Go on a walk. Spend time with someone that is meaningful to you. Listen to some gorgeous music. Plan that into your action plan or your SMART targets for your personal growth and development. Another one, value yourself enough to pursue new goals. Well, here you are. You're doing that one already. Tick box. But accept your strengths and weaknesses and let go of unreasonable expectations. We talked about acceptance, but we didn't highlight unreachable expectations or unreasonable expectations. Be careful of them. We need to be ambitious. We need to have a high goal and a high vision, but make it achievable to start with. Remember what I told you about my life journey. I couldn't jump straight over to the future as far as I have achieved now because I didn't know what it looked like. It's the same with you. You can't immediately say, oh, now I'm going to be married and in a super happy relationship. That's maybe an unreasonable step right now. Because right now you're just trying to think about how to break the trauma bond. So just go to, I will have peace, or I will have X that I deeply want. And don't be ashamed to identify your wants. And then lastly, consider yourself rather than always putting other people first. And consider yourself first. When someone says, oh, do you want to do this with us today? If you don't, say no. It's okay. You need time for you as well as time for others. So let's sum this up with our actions. What are our actions now? You need exercise that I want you to do over the weekend. Okay? And it's in the link below. You're going to have a my now and what your my needed is. What do I currently do now? I clean into the night. What do I need? I need time for my evening walk. So I'm going to rewire my brain that it doesn't matter if my house is a little bit of a mess. I'm more important. What do I currently do now? I stand back quietly and I don't speak out in meetings. What I need to do is I need to confidently step into the front because I have something to say and I am important and equal to others that are there. And do it with all aspects of life where you feel a little stuck and frustrated. Where am I now and what is needed? And in the following week, we're going to start looking at our value pot. And we're going to think about how our values link to our desired needs and how we can then start to bring those to clarity. I can't wait to see you next week. You're doing amazing. I've left you with a lot of tasks and a lot of work, but I know that they're going to be empowering. See you next week.